What's up, friendos? Welcome into Leading Off right here on the Fantasy Pros Twitch. We are live on the Twitch, twitch.tv/FantasyPros. I'm Chris Welsh. That is Joe Orrico. We are back. We are still getting our world in here. Fabby says 3 days a week sucks. I know, but we're here. We're all a little disjointed, but we get a little bit more to talk about because we got a bigger collection of stuff here. Back on the Wednesday episode, Orrico and I are going to be breaking down all the latest and greatest, a little bit of rookie Lookie, some crazy performances, some big questions, actually, from the trade deadline in fantasy to get into, and all of that above Mr. Joe Orrico, looking snazzy with that Fantasy Pros background in there. How we doing, buddy?
Yeah, I tried to dress up for you today. I got the collared shirt on. We got the background. We're looking snazzy. I look like a different guy than I would have a few weeks ago on the channel. So I appreciate the upgrade. So thanks to Fantasy Pros for that.
I'm all dressed down too. I'm hatted up. If for my hat crew out there that's sick of the hair, we've got the hat. I can report we have another hat down at the house. I was told, my wife last night said the dog, and this is a real sad one. It was the actual Fantasy Pros hat. My Fantasy Pros hat that I wear absolutely destroyed it. I'm trying to hide them. Another hat is down. We literally are going to have to start a GoFundMe to replenish the hats, but we are doing the I think it's the Frisco hat today we're rocking for all you on the podcast that are listening and do not care what we look like or anything, but I'm shirting that. We're dolled down here. Want to remind everybody you still got chances to win fun stuff. We just gave away, what did we just give away? Juan Gonzalez. We just gave that away on the last episode, but that one's done. Kelsey Land won that. We sent out the bat signal for you to pick up that. We got new stuff, my friend. We've got the Billy Wagner Frinza. We've got Billy Wagner signed jersey. All you got to do if you're on the Twitch, you got to jump over to the YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, and make a comment on any of the baseball videos we've got. If you're watching on the YouTube, easier job for you. Podcast, you know what to do. Your opportunity this month, Billy Wagner signed jersey. Subscribe to the Fantasy Pros MLB channel. Make a comment. Boom. Now, I would say don't get confused because we have the main Fantasy Pros channel. You want to do the Fantasy Pros MLB channel. Subscribe, make a comment, and win something awesome. I want you guys to win something awesome. All right, let's get into it. We got a lot of baseball stuff today. And leading it off is Shea Langeliers. Bang, bang, bang. 3 solo shots on Tuesday as the A's absolutely beat up on the Nationals, which we'll get to the other side of the Nationals here in a second. It's actually very funny that this happened because I was going through kind of looking at my ranks, and you know, maybe I don't give enough attention sometimes to catchers. And I re-looked prior to this game looking at Shea, and I was like, man, 19 homers, 260-something average. I'm like, he's having a pretty good year with some slight dips. Well, now up to 22 homers, hitting 272, not an OBP guy or anything like that. But you just have good metrics kind of across the board. Gets the ball in the air as you should. Hard hit, barrel, low strikeout rate as well. Where is Shea Langeliers, do you think, in the pantheon of catchers the rest of the season? And what do you think he looks like next year?
I'm going to have a hard time keeping him out of the top 5 catchers. Rest of season, next year. It's really a shame that he had to miss a little bit of time with injury this season because we could have been looking at maybe not quite a full-blown Cal Raleigh season, but he's doing similar things to Cal Raleigh. He's on a 40-plus home run pace. He's hitting for average. Like you mentioned, the strikeout rate, that was a huge problem for him his first couple of years, 34, 29, 27%. He's down at 18%. He's been able to maintain the hard hit data with an 11% barrel, 45 on the hard hit, making better contact in the zone, fewer swinging strikes. Like, he's just improved all around, and they got a major ballpark upgrade that they're going to have for the next couple seasons. So if anybody wants to rank him as high as like the 3rd or 4th catcher next season, I wouldn't blame them because we've had some guys at the top who've kind of fallen off a little bit. William Contreras has been hurt, but he hasn't been good. Rutschman hasn't been good. Real Muto is no longer an elite guy. Like, a lot of those top names are coming down. Langeliers is probably one of those guys going up.
Okay, rest of season, Langeliers or William Contreras?
I take Langeliers just because William Contreras is still battling that broken finger.
Langeliers or Adley Rutschman?
Langeliers without question.
Yeah, I mean, it's the production is there. Why is the production going to slow down? And more than anything, something even I kind of forgot was, like, we talked all season, early season, preseason, about like, hey, what's going to happen in Sacramento when the summer months start coming up? Ball's going to keep flying more. It's a potential boost to a lot of these A's guys. And it's just like, here we go. I mean, he has this is a crazy stat. I didn't realize this. Langeliers has 10 homers post All-Star break and 69 at bats. Nice. That's crazy. Wow. 10 of his 22 homers have come in the last 69 at bats this season. So he's on a tear right now. He looks like a monster. On the other end of it, though, there's a little I told you so. Apologies. Joe's gone. Oh, there goes my camera. Joe's gone, so we lose some of the I told you so's that you get, but I'm going to bring a couple back. One of my parting gifts on, I think, one of our last episodes of the buy-sell, I put MacKenzie Gore in there. And I think there were a lot of like warning signs that were floating out there. Expected ERA, not quite the walk numbers, but walks were out there. How he was giving up contact. I think it was against fastballs. I put a warning out there that I was selling MacKenzie Gore in the second half, and that was kind of a bigger deal when you look at like how dominant he had been. I mean, pre All-Star break, 3 ERA before July, by the way. 2.93 June ERA, 2.63 ERA, great strikeouts. July kind of fell apart a little bit. His pre-All-Star break ERA, 3.02 with a 1.2 whip, okay? 37 earned runs. Since the All-Star break, 4 starts, he has given up 23 earned runs, which is 14 than he did the entire other part of the season with a 2.5 ERA. This is all leading up to he got blown up for 8 runs and 12 hits in like 3 innings against the A's. They murderballed him. That window's all gone. What's your concern level with MacKenzie Gore? Do you think this is a really bad 4-game stretch? Do you think he can kind of, come back from this? He was definitely one of the better big pop-up pitchers this year, but I had been selling the last month, and it has completely come to a head now where his value is pretty low.
He's done this, it feels like, every single year where he gets off to a great start. I remember in 2022, MacKenzie Gore looked like the rookie of the year for the first 3 months of the season, and he's kind of done that every year. If you look back, you can go on FanGraphs and look at career splits by month, and in March and April, he has a 3.07 ERA. In May, it's 2.80, and then in June, 4.68. His July ERA in his career is 7.56, and then in August, it's 4.98. So those middle months of the season, he just falls apart, and now in September, October, it goes back to 2.20. But he just seems to fall apart, and maybe it's something to do with fatigue, something in the summer months of the year. He just can't get through an entire season because this is kind of, we're in year 4 now with a 4.22 ERA through 500 career innings. This has been the best season of his career still. I'll stand by that. The strikeouts have gone up. The ERA estimators are very good. But at the end of the day, we're still going to be looking at a mid-4s ERA with a 1.4 whip. And I wonder if there's ever going to be a season where he's just able to have like a sub-3 ERA and compete for the Cy Young, but this is becoming a serious problem every single year now.
Well, he had it in the first half. We got him in the first half, and then we lost it in the second half. That's kind of the story. Like he was it looked like he was the new version of everything we wanted him to be, or he was living up to the expectation of what we had always wanted. And then it just started falling apart. It was especially if I'm remembering correctly. I mean, go back and watch on one of the videos that I had. I want to say that one of my big things was I think at the time it might have been the 4-seam fastball. Like the expected ERA against it was a lot higher than what he was actually giving up. So he was getting away with a lot of stuff, and it's just blown up and it's kind of fallen apart. So it's nasty to see. A couple things as a reminder. We're going to do some listener questions. So if you guys want to drop stuff in the chat, once we get through the headlines, we will jump to that. Also a reminder, our boy Green Bob comes in here, and this is a baseball show, but we do have football for you asking. And yes, you should pick Bijan Robinson if you can also keep Neighbors, if that's the question. I'm not 100% sure, but we've got football offerings, and we can put it up on the screen right here on Twitch every single day, Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. We got a best ball with my boy Erickson and Strachan. 2 p.m. Eastern, we got Q&As, D-Bros there. Wednesday, same thing, 2 p.m. Eastern. On Thursdays and Fridays, 5 p.m. Eastern, with some rotating people. I was on it. Actually, I wasn't on the Twitch last week. I was on the YouTube. But we just got a lot of good offerings that are going to be here all season long. It will be a lot of football-centric, but if you got your football stuff, make sure that you are locked into the Twitch. Look for the football streams. Otherwise, we got you here for leading off. All right. So we'll be getting to some questions here in a little bit. I had a revelation that's not good to have at this point, because I was like blinders, Orrico. I was complete blinders to this situation. But last night, Mason Miller came in the game in the 8th. Proceeded to give up a homer. I think he threw, it was like 103.6 or something, and Lourdes Gurriel took him deep. It's not about the quote blown save that he had. What occurred to me was he had not had a save opportunity yet as a Padre. He was not being put into that situation. This was another game. This was a 2-0 game where they brought him in the 8th again, and he blows this lead. Blah, blah, blah. It gets back to Suarez. Suarez gets the opportunity to come in and, attempt to save the game. Are you worried that Mason Miller will be aligned to being a setup guy the rest of this season? Because fully admit, trade deadline hit, I'm like, oh, Mason Miller's just going to go to the 9th immediately, and Suarez will go to the 8th. And then the first game, they didn't do that. And I'm like, don't worry about that. He's just getting acclimated. Doesn't seem like we're getting acclimated, and we have a bad outing happening there when Robert Suarez has been consistent. It seems like he might just be a setup guy, which is absolute decimation of value. So give us some good news on why you think Mason Miller can be the closer, or just lay on the bad news that, hey, everybody, Mason Miller is a setup guy now for the rest of this year.
Yeah, I'll fully own my L. I think I mentioned this to you. I did like a write-up on trade deadline day on my Patreon. Just every trade, I did like a little blurb. And my blurb for Mason Miller was, he'll still be the closer as he was with the Athletics, but we'll see a massive ballpark and team upgrade. And I said, could be the best closer rest of season. That was really, really stupid. Only a couple weeks later, he's not the closer. And as much as this probably feels dramatic to say so, you can probably drop him if you're in just a straight-up saves league. If you're in a save-hold league, then sure. There's still going to be value there with the ratios and the strikeouts. But Robert Suarez has been the closer there for several seasons now, and he's been great. Like, he has 32 saves at a 3.17 ERA. Hindsight's 20/20, but it kind of makes sense that they just keep him in that role. Why would you mess with the guy who's been successful and is your guy? Now, the other side of that coin is, why would you trade the second highest prospect that's ever been traded before for a setup man? So that doesn't really make sense, which is why I was thinking he was the closer for sure, because who trades the number 3 prospect for a setup man? But at this point, it looks like it's Suarez's job, unless he implodes 3 times in a row or something. It's Suarez's job to lose. There
was a worry with Suarez because Suarez was like, do you remember that time where it's like all he would do is throw 4-seam fastballs? Like, he had that's all he would do. And then, you start to get to him this year, good job. He also throws sinkers, but he's like almost 25% on the changeup.
Yeah.
So I can't understand this. Long-term, I more and more feel like Mason Miller is going to get stretched out this year. A lot of people speculated on it. It really feels like he's going to get stretched out. Or, they're going to move on and they're going to consolidate and stuff like that. I still can't wrap my head. More than anything, I can't wrap my head around trading a top 10 prospect in baseball for a relief pitcher that, when you're in a race, that you're not even closing. And then, maybe he gives you protection if you lose Suarez next year or something like that. But I really feel like they're going to stretch him out. But more than anything, if you wanted to get bullpen help because you were worried, why? Because Adrian Morion's been incredible. Jason Adam is incredible. You've got so many good relievers. It is such a weird thing that I was giving a pass for, and I don't think, unfortunately, all of us fantasy guys, we can give a pass for. And this kills me on a team, because I had my big main guy was Mason Miller, and then I had some smaller players. I think I was able to pick up a Jojo Romero off the wire, but losing Mason Miller, I imagine he's going to get the offhanded save here, but no matter what, no matter where we go with this, he's not going to get all the saves, and that's a blow. Maybe he gets 1 or 2, and that's okay, but it looks like he is going to just be the straight setup guy. And also that performance last night didn't help them wanting to probably throw him into another save situation, because gave one up to Lourdes Gurriel, just bombed it out there. So act accordingly, my friends. A couple of the Diamondbacks that were traded had some big nights. Josh Naylor, or at least some big bombs, 2 for 3, 2 homers, 3 runs scored, a walk, and 2 steals. Eugenio Suarez had a 2-run homer, a couple runs scored against the White Sox. I think it was you that tweeted. Can you tweet out some of the names that Josh Naylor steals? This is a video game. This is like a creative player. This would be like Bogman creating his player, and the guy doesn't look like he should steal, and he's stealing. Give us some of the players that Josh Naylor has more steals than in this season.
This creative player, Scott Bogman. Yeah. So, first of all, he has 3rd percentile sprint speed. I'll say that. He's in the 3rd percentile of Major League Baseball. He's like a backup catcher, but he has
like
more
on the bot, not 3rd highest percentile, 3rd worst percentile.
No, yeah, 3rd percent. Yeah. So he has more stolen bases than Corbin Carroll, Sharon Duran, Xavier Edwards, Bryson Stott, Cedric Mullins, Shohei Ohtani, Jazz Chisholm, Brenton Doyle, and nearly everybody else at this point. He has 7 steals as a member of the Mariners. Like, what the hell?
What the hell's going on with him? What the hell's going on? And then, like, just that the Diamondbacks got such a weird collection of players for these two that are literally gonna. I did Seattle radio last week because I'd done a CBS hit and I was talking up the Mariners, and someone saw it and they wanted me on because I was talking so positive about the Mariners. But it was just like, dude, how the Mariners were able to pull off those offensive pieces for a great rotation. Brian Wu was phenomenal. Just bounced back. Remember, he had a couple of those bad ones. He was great last night. They had the best rotation in baseball. They've got one of the best closers in baseball. You know, maybe the rest of the bullpen needs a little bit more help. But then the biggest question mark was built around some of the hitters. And then they literally just brought in 2 demons. You know, they brought in Naylor, who can hit 3-4, doubles guy, hits a homer there. Suarez, their fantasy value dips a little bit in the ballpark, but Suarez just still hit a bomb. It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy what they're doing. And it's probably good for Suarez fans because I was pretty vocal about, like, it's the worst destination he could have gone to, but he's still doing it. Nate Eovaldi last night was awesome, allowing just 1 hit over 8 innings of shutout ball. Pretty crazy on how good he has been this entire season. Against the Yankees, you also saw another closer situation. Devin Williams had a rough night, gave up 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks in 2/3 of an inning, blew the save. They'd also optioned Jake Bird. They had used Luke Weaver. They don't know what they're doing. Are we at 5 straight on the Yankees right now?
Yeah.
5 straight. Swept by the Marlins. They are a sinking ship right now. And thank God they got Aaron Judge back, and that might, give some more momentum. But I'm not sure. Where did you put Devin Williams, by the way? Like, where do you even slot Devin Williams as a closer? Just, you don't have to give like exact, but like the general range.
I get questions about him multiple times a day. I think he's still probably in the top 10 as long as he is the closer. The skills are still there. Like, he's not like just a completely different pitcher than he was before. A lot of the underlying numbers are still very good. The only question is, do the Yankees take him out of the role? Like, if he's in the role, he's top 10 for me. But if they go with Bednar or somebody else, then he becomes a drop. But I think for now,
Bednar stinks. He stunk. Duvall wasn't good. Luke Weaver was the only. Like, they have so many guys, and they all stink right now. Luke Weaver's the only good one, I think.
He might be.
I don't know.
He might be, man. They have
the collection.
That's the problem if you have Williams and you're trying to like rely on him for, because there's one team where I have Williams and I desperately need saves in Roto. They might go a number of different options, and they have that luxury. They could go to 4 or 5 different guys on a given night, depending on who's the hot hand.
Yeah, it's like the Padres have the same situation where they got 5 or 6 guys, but they've clearly are going to bring out, this is what we do. I think the Yankees are just going to keep mixing this up. I mean, they're done with the Bird stuff. Bednar they'll throw out. I think Weaver gets the next opportunity. So if Weaver's floating out there, I would pick him up. But you know what? When the hell are the Yankees going to get the next save opportunity, right? So, I mean, they're just dropping left and right. A couple other pitching performances. Logan Webb, another great one. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. He'd been a little bit wonky as of recent. Picked up his 10th win, not of Penguins. And Garrett Crochet, 8 strikeouts, 2 runs, 7 innings, and a win over the Royals. I believe I tracked this because of my preseason bet. I believe that got him back into the lead for strikeouts for the season. It is him and Skubal. And I don't know if it's Wheeler. I think they're just trading back and forth, like left and right. But I have Garrett Crochet. He's up by 1.
He's up by 1, but Wheeler has he got pushed back because of something in his shoulder too. So it's pretty much him and Skubal, it looks like.
Yeah, excellent. That's what I need. Remember, that was my bet preseason, everybody. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was. It was like 12-1 or something like that on Skubal to lead and strikeouts. That was my my big bet. So trying to cash it. Let's go to the audience. Let's see what's up with everybody. Let's answer some questions. Game, Keachel, McNeil, or I'm going to guess that's Brandon Lau because it could be Josh Lowe. So let's pretend it's Lau, and I'm going to say Lau.
Yeah, I am as well.
If it's Lowe, would you change?
Based on the fact that it's second baseman he's laying out there, I think it's Brandon, and I think that would be my choice. If it's Josh, I think I'd still probably take him, honestly.
Keachel had a great home. He got his first homer. Like, he's going to get playing time. Like, that's exciting and stuff, but not at the expense of Brandon Lau here.
Yeah.
Fabby says, I got better options than keeping James Wood in the 6th round. Okay to drop him all in this year. Do you have better options? How many keepers? I can't answer that because if it's like, if it's only 2 keepers and you truly do have better, okay. But if it's like you've got 6, nah, dude, I don't think I can do it.
This might be a situation where you're just kind of like frustrated with him and you're seeing him like, oh, I'm done with this guy. But in reality, he is one of the top in Dynasty. He's the top 20 Dynasty guy still, top 15, 20, 25. Like, he should be capped. Yeah,
bench him. Like, the bench him is what I would do. By the way, shout out to, we had a couple on here. Ciara Hari with the follow and Positive Grouch resubbing with the Prime. If you guys ever are hanging here on Twitch, you get hit with the ads. You don't want to get hit with the ads. Make sure you pick up a sub. You can just pay for a sub. We have people that gift subs, which is super cool and awesome if you're hanging out in here. Or if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can connect your Prime account and you get a free sub every single month to somewhere on Twitch, and you can use it here. So that helps us out, gets rid of ads, helps you out. And for the future, it helps with the contests that we do on the Discord. We have that connected. So we are big brained. We're thinking like that. Game over. Is Ivan Herrera a top 5 catcher? I think he's in that talk. Langeliers does make that difficult this year, but I think he's in that realm of possibility, don't you?
He's definitely there. The only thing with Herrera is he's caught 14 games this year. He's not going to catch again this season to preserve his health. So if you have a 20-game eligibility threshold, he's going to be UT only next year. He'll still have it on Yahoo and I think CBS, but if you're playing NFBC, then Ivan Herrera is trending towards just utility only, which is going to suck.
That does suck. Bellinger or Marte rest of season?
Cattell, I think. Is that Cattell? It has to be Cattell, I guess.
Oh, I was thinking that's Noelvi. If that's Cattell, it's not remotely close. It's Cattell. But if that's Noelvi, because Noelvi's playing some outfield and stuff like that, I'm going to go with Belly, though.
Yeah, I'll go with Belly still. And maybe it's Starling. Who knows? But no, it's probably Belly.
Yeah, actually, it could be Starling. It could be a New York thing.
It could be.
In a holds league, which Seattle reliever, Brash or Bizzardo? I would go Brash.
I'd probably say Brash. I've been partial to him for a long time.
Story or Westberg rest of season?
I'm going to say Story, man. Like, he's been phenomenal. He's been great. I have to go with him. Better lineup.
I want to say Westberg because Westberg's also picking it back up. Like, he's starting to find that rhythm. He's kind of where he was at the previous year. Things are starting to click, but Story has been really, really good. So it's probably Story right now. Is there any other? Is Lawrence Butler, is he droppable now in 3 outfielder roto leagues?
He's been killing the batting average for a while, but he's still giving you some homers and steals. I prefer to bench him than to drop him outright.
Yeah, there's a lot of those guys, especially with like what we were saying before too, in like the summer months that are going to come in for the A's and stuff. Like, if I have opportunities, I'd really like to like just bench some of these players that have like high outputs that are underperforming right now. But, you know, if it's 3 outfielder, you've got a 4th outfielder that's just going to press him. Like, I suppose you could. He is borderlining that area. All right, we'll see if we can get back to a few more here in just a little bit. On the Lookie side, just a couple of rookie updates. My guy, Jacob Marcy, continues to roll out. Craig Mish all over it. He went 2 for 2, hit his first major league homer, had a walk against the Astros. Marcy's here. No one's giving me flowers, but I did give up on him for 2 years, but I wouldn't shut up about him for 2 years. You were there at that AFL, right? Where I was just like, I did a panel. I don't know if you were in that panel, but were you here a couple years back when Marcy was in the AFL?
I've been going to the AFL for 4 or 5 years now, so I probably was there.
I was just nonstop Marcy, but I had a Padre scout give me looks there when I was going on to the Marcy stuff. Like, nah, don't love it. And he's just he's bouncing back. So I'm here for the glow up of Jacob Marcy. Luke Keishel, as I mentioned, hit his first homer in a 6-3 victory. So it looks like he's going to get playing time, and that makes him relatively attractive in deeper leagues. I'm just not sure it's at the expense of anything amazing. Oh, I didn't even realize this. I think you put this under the fun fact thing. I mentioned this earlier, but Lourdes Gurriel's hit of 103 off of the 103.9 mile per hour fastball of Mason Miller was the fastest pitch that was hit for a home run in the StatCast era. I had no idea that kind of tracks, I suppose, right?
104. I mean, yeah, it shows you the velocity isn't everything. You know, you got to spin it still because they can hit it if it's flat. 104. Not to say that Mason Miller is like throwing flat fastballs, but that's pretty impressive for my old friend Lourdes.
Lourdes is doing nothing. How disappointing has Lourdes been this year?
Yeah.
I think that was his first homer, or maybe it was like the day before or something like that since like June. Like he's just, or July. I don't even know. It's like a month or something like that. Like Lourdes has just been an absolute disappointment, but that's a wild one. The thing that you want to see, I want to see a combo of the highest velo pitch and the highest velo exit velocity. Give me that. Give me like 104 and 121. Speaking of the AFL, this was a long time ago. This AFL was where Pete Alonso wasn't even a major leaguer, and it was in the Fall Stars game. I couldn't track what year this was, maybe 2018. And Nate Pearson was in that AFL. And if you remember, Nate Pearson used to like dial it up. And if I remember correctly, Pearson in the AFL Fall Stars game threw 103, and Alonso just murdered it. I don't remember what the exit velocity was, but I think it would come close to what I'm saying. Like, give me high velo and high exit velocity. He absolutely almost hit it out of the stadium, and it was Pearson versus Alonso, and it was like one of the first 3 at bats of the game, and it was wild. Not that any of you really care about it.
Nate Pearson, my God, I can't believe he didn't pan out still. It'll be one of those I'll be thinking about forever.
Yeah. I got AFL on the mind too, by the way. I started working on my prediction sheet of the players that are going to go to the Arizona Fall League. Be on the lookout for all that.
We're getting there.
We're getting close. So check out the Prospect One podcast. All right. 3 up and 3 down. On the up, Daulton Varsho, 3 for 5, 2 homers, 6 RBIs against the Rockies. JJ Bleday, 4 for 6 with a homer, another 6 RBIs. And Zack Littell, he struck out 8 over 7 innings against the Cubs, and I believe that was his Reds debut, which was pretty solid. So, right? Yeah, that's the those are the ups. On the downs, I switched this one up because we originally had MacKenzie Gore here, and I moved him. I don't know if you noticed this. Anthony Molina with the Rockies, he gave up 7 earned runs in 5 innings. That's bad. He gave up 5 homers. He gave up 5 home runs. That's insane that he was allowed to stay in that long. We've got the Cinco Stinko, which, by the way, stay tuned here. We need to have something for giving up 5 home runs. That's insane. That probably happens more often than like I'm thinking, but I don't remember this season seeing a starting pitcher give up 5 homers in a game.
I don't think I do either. The Rockies just really abuse their pitchers. Like, they'll let them wear it. If you look at the rotation ERAs, 5.26, 6.18, 7.68, 6.59. Senzatella just went on the IL, but my God, he has a 7.34 ERA. Like, they just let these guys go out there and wear it. And I've been enjoying it with my Jays in town the last couple of days, but you got to feel for these pitchers, man. They're making 30 starts a year with a 7 ERA. Like, that's got to be demoralizing. Yeah,
padding the stats here. By the way, Todd said Devers hit a homer this season against Aroldis on the 103 fastball. I want to see the EVs on that, though. I want to connect EVs with high mile per hours. Still on the down, Cal Quantrill allowed 7 runs on 9 hits, 3 walks over 4 against the Astros, and Jose Soriano allowed 7 runs on 7 hits in 4 innings. Both of those other guys could not go deep, while Anthony Molina is just pitching meatballs the rest of the year. It's crazy. Now, we uncovered something. I believe nobody saw this. I could be wrong. This could have been brought to our attention in the comments or whatever, but producer Callie threw this at us. So again, if you were the one that said this, shout out to you for catching it. We did not open up the Monday show correctly because, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is number 3. We have our 3rd registered Cinco Stinko. Yes, this came from a YouTube comment on Monday. Cal Raleigh on Saturday, 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts, our 3rd Cinco Stinko of the year. And I'm not going to lie, that picture actually looks like me and not Cal Raleigh. It looks a little bit like me. Like if I go.
You just look like every major league player and major league adjacent player.
Doesn't that kind? I mean, I don't want to look like that guy, but doesn't it like kind of look like me a little bit? It looks more like me than that does Cal Raleigh.
A little bit. You're still
It
Rico
does.
Bronya. You're still Rico Bronya.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that one. But I do like this. We are going to have some official Cinco Stinkos for next season. Artwork, a board. We're going to be tracking all of it. But that is Cal. He's very upset. He did win a home run derby, but he is now put in the Hall of Stinko with an 0 for 5 strikeouts. Not great for the Big Dumper. And actually, the Big Dumper nickname really does not work well with this graphic here either, because his hat is got flies on it and it's Stinko. He just looks really upset too. By the way, look at AI just completely replicating like the logo, the names and stuff too. Shout out to AI for just not having any issues with the names on there. But yes, he is there. Cinco Stinko, number 3 for the season. That is with, who is it with? Jackson Churio was 1. He was like opening day.
So I've got it here. We've actually had 7 all told somehow.
What? Then we must not have announced them, because this is only the 3rd one I feel like we've talked about.
Yeah, because there was the 2 of them that were on opening weekend, Churio and Dylan Cruz, and then Jose Altuve, April 3rd.
I remember that.
Nick Castellanos, April 10th.
Don't remember that.
Tyler Stevenson on May 6th, and then Austin Slater on June 12th.
Okay, so that was 6?
That was 6 before Raleigh, so Raleigh makes 7.
Okay, so then correction. 7 Cinco Stinkos officially in the books, Cal Raleigh being the most recent. And a shout out to our Cinco Stinko logo. We need to put that on we do stickers. We're going to do merch. We're going to go big next year. So just be on the lookout for all the Cinco Stinkos there and all you crew. I wanted to do this. Todd said, according to StatCast, Devers home run off of Chapman left the bat at 105.9 and traveled 423. So what did Lourdes's off the bat? I don't want to derail the show for that, but now I'm just curious if I could find it quickly, maybe, because now I'm curious, like, what is the highest pitch x highest max exit velocity combination out there? Okay, here it is. 107.1 was that homer, so that is higher max EV. But I want give me 118. Give me something crazy. Give me something nuts, right?
It's probably going to be like O'Neal Cruz, Vladdy, Stanton, maybe Judge, like one of those guys versus a Chapman or one of those relievers for sure.
I need something crazy. Do we have? It's not like going to affect anybody, but do we have breaking news here? Because I see the Big Dan says the Red Sox and Roman are working on an 8-year, and Eamon, who by the way, shout out first time, saying Roman extended. So here we go. Seth Dywald, other producer, our master producers here. Here we go. Jeff Passan, breaking news: Roman Anthony and the Red Sox finalizing an 8-year, $130 million contract extension. The deal, which is pending a physical, includes a club option and will keep Anthony under team control through 2034. If I didn't already feel old. That's it. But that's the classic deal. That's about what these deals look like. That's like the Corbin deal, and it's what was Acuna's, like 100 million or something, but it's like 120 to 140. Like that's kind of the key marker there. He's extended. He's the big piece. They don't have a great track record for these 10-year deals on guys lately. No, hopefully Roman will play other positions, but there you go.
For me, I think that's a great deal for the Red Sox. Like he's already, I know the power hasn't quite been there for Roman Anthony, but he's got a 130 WRC plus. Like he's got great hard hit data. This is going to age very well for Boston. This is going to look like some of those Braves contracts. I think it's going to age very well.
Yeah, no, very, very interesting. And shout out to Eamon too for first time chatting and coming in here and giving us some news. All right, so let's jump into injuries. Speaking of, he got a contract extension and he's being held out. So he was held out on Monday and Tuesday, it looks like, due to this back tightness. So he had time to sign his contract. But the thought is he is going to be back on Wednesday here. So back on Wednesday, all is good. Shane Bieber likely needs 2 more rehab starts before making his Blue Jays debut. You pretty happy about what you've seen in the minors for Biebers?
Yeah. No, that first start looked pretty good. Ryan Bloomfield was actually there getting some live looks and tweeting about it. He said he looked good. The numbers looked good. So we'll take it, man. I'm never going to complain about a former Cy Young coming to town.
Bloomer. Grayson Rodriguez undergoing season-ending surgery. It will not be Tommy John. He's going to do the debridgement procedure, which is going to remove some bone chips, and there's apparently no ligament damage. So he's got a chance to be ready for the 2026 season if everything goes good with the rehab process. That's great news. That's really, really good news for getting Grayson back next year, if you trust it. Roki Sasaki said on Tuesday that he has every intention to get back in the majors this season. Sure, bud. Sasaki added while speaking to reporters for the first time in nearly 3 months that he's pain-free and he believes he's in a better place to reach his peak fastball velocity again. He threw on Tuesday out here in Arizona. It was on a side simulated game session. So he still's got to do a rehab assignment. I don't think it means much for fantasy. And frankly, I don't care. So even if he comes back, I'm not going to do all that mess. I don't think he can go deep into games. And no thanks. Not today, Sasaki.
Big miss for Mr. Orrico once again.
You and I had our arguments about Sasaki in the preseason too. You were like, I was like one of the lowest. You were one of the high. Well, not about a lot of stuff, but the Sasaki one definitely. But this was the worry right here. It wasn't really even. There were concerns about the talent, like with he didn't have a good slider. He had the great splitter. Fastball's a little flat. Slider wasn't good. That was like one worry. I was really worried about the injury stuff and what happened, that they were going to baby him. How deep was he going to be able to go? And it was just a disaster the whole year.
Yeah, that was me. Honestly, not digging deep enough. Just looking at what happened with Yamamoto. Yamamoto came over, had immediate success. All the reports were that Sasaki was an even better pitcher than Yamamoto. So I didn't dig deep enough. And that quote, looking back on it from December, January, where he said, "Oh yeah, they wanted me to have Tommy John," and I said no or something. It's like, that probably should have been when everybody tapped out. But
yeah,
we live and we learn, my friend.
Yeah, and I mean, the splitter was great and everything like that, but like you got to have the other secondaries. I think I likened it to Casey Mize. Casey Mize had the incredible splitter coming out, and he wasn't able to go to his other stuff early on in his career, and he got banged around because it was like if he couldn't throw that, if that splitter was just he wasn't getting swings in zone, so he had to throw it out of zone. No one was offering at it. And then he would just drop, a fastball or a dead slider in the middle, and he just got banged around. Similar-ish things kind of going on with Sasaki a little bit, but I don't know. He'll be back this season. I don't have much interest, but maybe there's a dynasty element to this that you can go and buy. Isaac Paredes is rehabbing his hamstring injury instead of undergoing season-ending surgery. I still kind of don't care because I don't think he's going to be back super in time. And I guess he would just DH and I don't think he'd get great playing time. I suppose if he returns, that's awesome, but I'm not holding out major hope. Grant Holmes is going to rehab and also not undergo Tommy John. So it's a big old collection of dudes that don't want their seasons to end. I don't blame them. Chase Meadroth missed his 4th consecutive game on Tuesday after being hit by a pitch on the thumb. That's no good. Joey Luperpito had to be removed in Tuesday's game after being hit on the knee. Simeon Woods Richardson was placed on the IL due to illness. He said he has a tummy bug. He's got a tummy bug. He feels so sicky. Oh, no. 15 days. You feel so sicky, Simeon. I've never heard of a guy going 15 days because he's got an upset stomach.
I haven't either. Like, this has got to be like, was he a mono? Like, there's got to be something pretty serious.
No, his tummy hurts. I feel so sicky. Now, I might, by the way, totally insensitive. There might be something much more serious, but the report was a stomach bug. So if you put in a report that there's a stomach bug, come on.
No, you know what this is? This is the Twins stink, and I'm not going to stretch myself right now. That's probably
I guess. They're just like, go home. We don't need you. Gleyber Torres scratched on Tuesday. Not a tummy bug, but he's got left forearm tightness. Lodolo on the 15-day IL with a blister. So we got 2 weeks for blisters and tummy bugs. It's crazy. Mike Soroka is placed on the IL with a shoulder strain. And I thought this one was really crazy. Victor Robles next week is going to begin his rehab assignment. And here's the other thing I think that's key. It's not out here in Arizona. It's not like a, progressive. I think he's going up to like AAA right out the chute. So I think that's a very, very interesting one where he could be back sooner than we expect. So if he's floating out on the wire and you've got an IL spot, I'd go pick him up because we could be just like a couple weeks away. So let's
Where is
see.
he playing
Something like diverticulitis could cause a longer recovery. Is that a stomach thing? I have no idea. They called it a tummy bug. That's all that I know. It's a little stomachy bug.
Do you think
Bunch of
Robles
black
plays
and
right when he comes back and takes over for Canzone? Because Canzone's been doing pretty well. I wonder where they play him.
No, I think Robles is a center fielder. I think anybody moves. I think Robles goes back into center field
over Julio.
Well, they move Julio over to right. I guess. I mean, what were they doing? Weren't they doing that? Wasn't Julio in right and Victor was in center when Victor was healthy? Am I wrong about that?
I don't think so. No, Robles was playing right before. Robles played 10 games this year, all in right. So I wonder if Canzone.
Yeah, I think he'll go right back to there.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because Canzone's 140 WRC plus, 7 homers, batting 300. It's a shame, but I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Okay, Victor's a great center fielder, so but yeah, I guess you're right. You don't take Julio off of that. By the way, I have no idea what this is, but shout out to Van Rod. Van Rod, a combo event started by Van Rod. Van Rod, we don't even know what that is. We're so old and relevant. I don't know, but shout out to Van Rod. Van Rod, probably one of the absolute top community people, Peanuts and Cracker Jacks on the Twitchverse here. But let's answer the question too: Jesus Sanchez or Jerks and Profar points league rest of season? What do you say?
I'm taking Jesus. I really like the move to Houston. Profar's been pretty poor for a while, but Sanchez batting third for the Astros. Like, we wanted him to be free for so long, and now he's finally in a good situation. So I'm taking Jesus.
Me too. I'm a little worried once, like, if what happens with all the injuries, like when your Alvarez is back, could that push Sanchez like way off? But like where he's hitting right now, it's like so ideal. Really good environment. So I'm definitely down with the Jesus Sanchez. You definitely mess with the Jesus on this one. All right, there you go. Those are all the injuries, a little bit of question stuff. Let's do some bets with our best bets of the day here for Wednesday. I got a little collection for you. Someone earlier said, would you start Jeffrey Springs today? I would. Jeffrey Springs, A's first 5 money line. First 5 on the money line. I will tell you, I didn't look. This was late last night, so I didn't look at the numbers quite yet, if they've moved at all. So if this became something worse, I'm probably not into it. But A's first 5 money line today, and now I'm just completely forgetting and why I did that one. Who are the A's playing here? Oh yeah, Washington. They stink. They're the worst on the planet. Jeffrey Springs has been a road dog, not a home dog. So road dog, Jeffrey Springs. That's why I want him. First 5 money line, -125. Kevin Gossman, I'm taking the over on the strikeouts. It's a little bit more juiced up at 135. I know, Joe, you're going to love that because anytime we're backing any Toronto guys, but it's Colorado. I know this line is moving around. I'm always going to just bet against Colorado, and Gossman has had some big strikeout performances. And then finally, Ellie De La Cruz over on 1.5 total bases, and it's nice plus money today. He's had quite a few multi-hit performances. I think we're getting to it. Give me 2 for plus 125 on Ellie De La Cruz. Joe Rico, what do you got for today?
So I've actually got the Gausman one as well.
Better line, give it to me.
Slightly better line at -118. I believe it was on FanDuel. But over 5.5 strikeouts. Gausman is from Colorado, and he tends to pitch well in the Colorado area. He's talked about it a lot. I don't know if it's, whether he's smoking a little something before the start or what it is, but he's actually talked about that in the past, that he used to like go to starts stoned as hell and pitch really well. So maybe that's something in Colorado. I don't know. He can do that in Toronto if he wants to. Who knows? But either way, I'm taking the hometown boy, Kevin Gausman, in Colorado, -118 over 5.5 strikeouts. Houston and Miami. I'm taking the over at plus money here. We got Jansen Junk, who's had 3 consecutive, poor low-hanging fruit, but 3 straight junk starts against Spencer Arrighetti, who's making his first start in a long time. 8.5 does feel like kind of a low number here. Miami has been rolling, surprisingly, but Miami's been a really good team for the last few weeks, and this one feels like a pretty low number. Getting it at plus money is something I really like to do. And then Kansas City, the first 5 money line. Dustin May is just not very good anymore. And I don't know that I expect him to do very well here in his debut for the Red Sox. He's going up against Michael Wacha, who is having another fantastic season. So just putting those two up against each other for the first half of this game, I'm going to put my money on Michael Wacha there, especially with a great line at plus 145.
That's a great line if that's the first 5 here. And another example, we mentioned this a week before, but you see Kevin Gossman on there and you see different lines. You guys can get the best lines over at Betting Pros. You download the Betting Pros app. You can shop them all, my friends, because you can go and see all the lines and all the books. You can see 5.5, who has the best price. You can lock it in yourself, and Betting Pros has got you covered. And guess what? You can even get a free trial using the promo code Leading Off for 7 days free. Get access to all the awesome stuff that Betting Pros has. By the way, that feature is not something that is like premium. So you can just go in, you can shop the lines, but there's a lot of just data work. If you want to, analyze your picks, you want to get into the deeper stuff, that's where the trial can get you. But from the prop cheat sheet, we have the prop cheat sheet creator. No, the prop bet cheat sheet. I'm having an aneurysm and I'm having a stroke here. The prop bet cheat sheet. You can go and check out all the lines and all the great stuff here. And like I said, you can shop your books, bettingpros.com/MLB props. Go and do it today. That's just a nice little sell for Betting Pros and some of the great stuff that it enables you to do. It doesn't enable you to speak better, but it does make you bet better. And that's all that really matters. Home run board. Let's go take a look at the home run board. I haven't been hitting. I hit nothing. Positive Grouch is your leader with 47. George at 46, Whips at 44. Things are opening up a little bit. We have got 7 people with 40 homers. One of those is not Wonky, unfortunately. Wonky is still on the board, though, at 36. I am nowhere to be seen. No Joes are there to be seen. I did not get any homers the last couple days. It's a race that I would have to have some Shea Langeliers-like days. Did anybody have Shea Langeliers yesterday? Is that something we can find out really quick? I'd be very curious here. But shout out to our crew there that's going to win that Sammy Sosa jersey. Rico, where are you going with your home run call today?
I am taking Brent Rooker, who's facing his name was a blast from the past to see him starting today. Cade Cavalli. Haven't seen him on a hill in several years, making his first start against an Athletics team that just put up 16 yesterday. Brent Rooker's been pretty hot. So I'm taking him today. But any of the A's, I think, are really good plays today. DFS, betting, fantasy, all the above.
I'm going to go with one of the hottest bats in baseball, and I've been playing around with ranks and just seeing where I need to go with it. You got Spencer Arrighetti, a righty. Well, guess what? Kyle Stowers, 24 of his 25 homers are against righties this season. He's hitting 298. Kyle Stowers for the home run call today. That's what I'm doing to try to get back up on that board, baby. That's what I'm looking for. Bam. There you go, everybody. No Langeliers, by the way. No one had Langeliers yesterday. What a incredible opportunity that would have been, and we missed out on it. Dang it. All right, so set the table. There is no Thursday show. Man, that's sad, I know. Friday, there's no me. No, it will be Joe Orrico and the return of Casey Bubba. Casey Bubba is back in the house. It'll be Orrico and Casey Bubba taking you home on Friday with all the news, all the notes, answering your questions, everything to fill out the rest of the day. And then I will be back on Monday. It'll be Orrico and I back on Monday. So schedule's a little bit different, but we're still here for you, baby. Make sure you're subscribed on the podcast. Make sure you're subscribed not only on the twitch.tv/FantasyPros, but make sure you're on the YouTube, youtube.com/FantasyProsMLB. Your opportunity to win that Billy Wagner jersey just for being awesome, just for subscribing and making comments. So we got you covered. There you go, right there. Beautiful looking jersey. I hope it's that exact one too with that color scheme. I very much like that. So make sure you are liking and commenting. You can even go do it on the prospect video that we just dropped. So, all right, you guys have a fantastic one. Shout out to Seth. Shout out to Callie. For Joe Orrico, I'm Chris Welsh. We love you guys, and peace. Bye-bye. Get out of here.
Game over. I see you've put that question a couple times. I would keep Acuna, Chris Sanchez, and Joe Ryan, brother. That would be my choice.
Cosine. Game over. Now, bye-bye.